Good day everyone, I am LEONERA VINO and today we are going to discuss differentiation and its guidelines. But before we start, let us pray first. Our objective is at the end of the lesson, the student should be able to identify the guidelines for differentiation, appreciate the value of differentiation through learning activities, and perform activities given using differentiation. Differentiation involves giving students choices and much more. Teachers are very intentional about the options that they provide to students. Differentiation takes place into students' account, needs, interests, and abilities according to Roberts and Inman. This involves understanding how students learn best. In other words, differentiation is being proactive in planning curriculum and instruction that fits students' learning profiles, interest, and readiness level. It is the process of creating multiple, differentiated learning opportunities within high-quality curriculum to maximize the probability that all students will become engaged in learning experience, efficiency of learning, and experience cognitive growth. Differentiation relies on flexible grouping, clear expectation, and a shared understanding that different students might be doing different things at the same time. Teachers begin with worthwhile objectives and strong curricular materials, hold high expectation for students by using ongoing assessment, decision-making, and provide variety of learning experience through which students may develop understanding and demonstrate what they have learned. Sometimes, this is the variety designed to appeal students' different interests and sometimes to provide their diverse learning preferences and profiles and sometimes to ensure challenge for their varied readiness level. Probably no topic has received more recent attention in teacher training than differentiation. Schools have learned that they can no longer ignore differences among students, which certainly a positive trend for gifted students. Best available knowledge about teaching and learning as they hone differentiation skills. According to Harvest and Tomlinson 2009, differentiation is based on 6 premises. First is, learning takes place when students experience a moderate level of challenge. Second is, because students differ in their skills and knowledge, moderately challenging activities will also need to differ. Third is, students are more motivated and engaged when tasks and content are interesting to them. And fourth is, students have the right to develop and explore their areas of interest. Fifth is, students have multifaceted learning profiles that influence how they learn best. And number 6, students learn best when they feel safe, supported, and valued. Tomlinson 2001 noted that differentiation is not several things. First is it is not individualized instruction of the 1970s. Although differentiation features several paths for learning, it does not assume a separate level of each student. Second is it is not chaotic. Many teachers are reluctant to differentiate because of the fear in losing control in their classroom. A differentiated classroom does require more leadership by the teacher as he or she manages to monitor many activities. However, once students are given choices and have opportunities to learn ways meets their need, managing their behavior is less of an issue. Third is differentiation is not another way of homogeneously group students. In differentiation, teachers use a variety of different grouping options for different purposes. And finally, differentiation is not just tailoring the same suits for students. Content, process, product, and learning environment are the elements that teachers can modify when responding to learners' differences in readiness, interest, and learning profiles. Content is what the teacher expects students to know, and it also includes ways students gain access to this knowledge. Process is how students make sense of content and includes the various activities teachers use. Examples of these are homework, assignments, and class discussion. Products are how students demonstrate what they have learned according to Harvey's and Tomlinson 2009. Products can also serve as vehicle for learning according to Kaplan 2009. And finally, the learning environment. Learning environment includes the classroom, arrangement, and class rules and structures.
Good day everyone, my name is Vince Anthony Caballero HUNAS. I discuss for today, it's all about tiered instruction and the School-Wide Enrichment Reading Framework or the SEEMR. The first lesson I discuss is the tiered instruction. Tiering is one of the more popular instruction strategies for differentiation listed in Figure 6.1. Any differentiation begins by reassessing students on the topic to be taught. Never assume what student to know. It can be surprising to discover which students show the highest level of mastery of the content. The tiering strategies involve creating the best possible lesson and then making it more or less challenging to fit different level of student readiness. In order to accomplish this, a teacher must consider what characteristic of the task make it more or less challenging for the given learners. Most teachers will create 3 levels based on the student readiness. As we stated earlier, differentiation is not creating a separate level for each student. Each of the levels includes respectful tasks, work that is interesting and challenging. Tomlinson and Harvest 2009, and each level address the instruction goals set for that lesson. In this way, all of the students are meeting a common outcome, but they are reaching it via different paths. So, how can a lesson be made more or less challenging to meet the readiness of the different students? According to Tomlinson, 2001 and 2003, created a clever graphic equalizer to present the task. Use of the equalizer lesson can be differentiation along 8 dimensions depending on the nature of the lesson. Different dimensions might be adjusted. Any learning activity, lesson, or assessment task can be placed on the continuum for a dimension and then adjusted left or right along the continuum to address the student readiness level. For example, a teacher might distribute 3 versions of tasks, each one at a different level of complexity, but then allow students within each task group to choose whether to work independently or with a partner. In each case, the objective and the task for all students should reflect best practice in the content, and however, differentiated tasks allow students to engage with learning in a way that best meet their own needs. Tiered assignments are good not just for gifted students, and also reported that tiered instruction was particularly beneficial for low background students. according to Richard and Omdahl 2007. Layering is just one instructional strategy that can be used to differentiate by the student readiness. Tomlinson and McTighe 2006 developed a 9-step process that honors the practice of differentiation and understanding by design. These steps reflects the planning and implementation necessary for effective differentiation. Number 1. Identify the desired learning result for the topic being taught. Number 2. Determine what is acceptable evidence of student learning. Number 3. A plan learning experience and instruction on the basis of the first two principles. Number 4. View learning difference as inevitable, important, and value in the teaching process. Number 5. Address the effective needs of learners as a way to support student success. Number 6. Periodically review and articulate clear learning goals that address what the students should know, understand, and be able to do as a result of learning. 7. Make instruction decisions on the basis of pre-assessments and ongoing assessment that are aligned to instruction goals. Number 8. Employ flexibility in instruction, planning, and classroom routines to support success for each learner. Number 9. Gather evidence of a student learning in a variety of formats. Although differentiation is simplified concept, implementation required classroom adjustment. Differentiating curriculum and instruction initially requires extra work on the part of a teacher. It requires change in the way the classroom is organized and how content is presented. However, this change is necessary to ensure that all students are learning. A situation that has not always existed from a group of students include the gifted and talented student. In the end, the extra work for differentiate makes teaching more efficient and effective because differentiations allows everyone to be engaged in meaningful learning. This is the graphic equalizer of Tomlinson and Harvest. And this is the tier pyramid. The next discussion is the School-Wide Enrichment Reading Framework, or the SEEMR. Reading and mathematics are two academic areas where gifted and students usually require differentiation. We describe two possible mathematics options elsewhere in this text. We will share a reading differentiation program here. The School-Wide Enrichment Reading Framework is an enrichment-based reading program that encourages students to select high-interest books slightly to moderately above the current reading level to stimulate their interest in and enjoying reading. It is a good example of differentiation in that it uses assessment data to support the modification of curriculum and instruction to respond the difference in student readiness interest, and learning profile. The SIM-R includes three general categories of reading instruction that are dynamic in nature and designed of enable flexible implementation and content in response to both teacher and student needs. This approach is based on Renzoll enrichment tiered model with three levels of enrichment. First, broad exposure to areas in which students might have interest. Number 2, training and methods instruction. And 3, opportunity to pursue self-selected topics of interest to students. The emphasis in the SIM-R is on enjoying the process of learning with a focus on planned, systematic enrichment experience. In Phase 1 of SIM-R, teachers selected literature to read aloud to students that includes providing higher order questioning and thinking skills instruction, because the purpose of these books is to increase student exposure to literature and to build student interest. Teachers introduce a new books or books each day, other than the more traditional approach of reading a novel from cover to cover. The second phase of the SIM-R emphasizes the development of the student self-regulation skills within supported independent reading of self-selected books coupled with individual differentiated reading conference. Teacher track individual student progress by monitoring student reading logs, reading and responding to student writing, and holding and keeping records of individual student conference. In the third component of SIM-R, students are encouraged to move from the teacher-directed opportunity to self-choice enrichment activities. Activities includes, but are not limited to, exploring new technology and engaging in discussion groups, creative writing, body reading, creative training and language art, learning center, interest-based project, and intent of this experience is to provide time for developing and exploring student interest in reading. Each component of SIM-R is developed to help students increase their enjoyment of reading in combination with the coach of differentiated reading strategies and effort to increase self-regulation and reading. That's all my discussion for today.